Hey folks, Nick Tockert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Now I've been asked to review and redo my stretch slash training of the drills. That was my very first video. Since I'm going to redo that, I might as well incorporate what I've been doing now as a progress marker from the development that I've been going on. A few years ago, I developed severe peripheral neuropathy, which made me lose my ability to close my hands, made me lose my ability to hold objects and work under any weight whatsoever. It caused problems. So now we're working on that. The weapons I'm using are, they're called wolf sabers. I purchased them from Amazon. I'll try to remember to throw the link in the description. I purchased them, and you know what, I'm going to show you guys. Part of the reason I purchased these is they're easy to grab onto, and they have this hook. This hook is really great for retention for the slightly weaker grip. I don't have to worry so much about preventing the weapon from sliding out because momentum will help keep it wedged. I just have to keep my grip comfortable. So that's just, basically why I went with these. Okay, I have two for the reasons that I'm going to explain. Now, as you guys know, if you've watched the channel, in the Simple Sword, I teach a version of 9 guards, always starting from the drawn position. You don't need a belt or something to draw off of. You just put it where it would be if you were drawing it. So you pull up into first and acknowledge. First is going to be something that you end up in. It's much more involved in the cut up as a quick draw technique in narrow spaces. Okay? Now we're going to rotate second, but to get to second, you want to start at third. I know it's counterintuitive, but you want to flow up and go. Second. And you'll notice second includes the parry. You want to train parry and go. Third is where you think a sword should live. It's almost perfectly vertical. It is where you're going to end up if you do a snap cut. Okay, anything like that is on that line third with the blade down. And now that should be practiced. Blade at your shoulder, rough flow through. Okay, you want to keep it level and you want to project as a thrust. Boom. Fourth lines up right with the edge of your body. Fourth has to be practiced in the mirror, but fourth, like second, roots in third, comes out and comes forward. So fourth catches and replies. Those are the 4 linear guards. The 4 offline guards, or non-linear guards, are fifth, again, drawing straight from the sheath, cutting down into sixth, cutting up into seventh, cutting down into eighth. This forms a technique and naturally a self-repeating drill called the figure 8, because from 8th, go back up to 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Each one of these is going to protect against a cut towards a specific quadrant. So high outside, low inside, high inside, low outside. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now that is the defensive mode of this. The more offensive is simply achieved by taking the same approach and angling out much farther with your shoulder, okay? So a more offensive looks like this because you're going for a narrower region of attack. Now, yes, you can throw your shoulder into it and really cut, but you don't want to overcommit, okay? The 9th guard technically is a guard of intimidation. It works much better with the rapier. That's fully going to 4th, so here, fully extend, and then the attacks all come either, this is straight lunge, but mostly tangential attacks, as you would find in your Spanish systems. None of this is new material, but it's worth going over. Now, I have 2 of these guys, and there are lots of people who do pretty things with multiple swords, and that's great. I use this to do 3 things. I needed a weight that was just under a pound, right around there, to use for physical therapy because my hands and arms were that weak from the nerve damage. So I built up till I could hold these guys. I also have a weakness in my back that I have to correct. Pardon my, belly here. But so, first we're doing is not actually, it has defensive merit because it's a short range parry, but it's much more important for what it does to open up your chest muscles and strengthen your back muscles, which pulls your shoulders up and can help repair your posture. And that's, you're comparing these in, and you're comparing out. Your elbows are pressed to your sides, and you're just pivoting from in to out. Now, in the vast majority of these exercises, you do not want a bend of any sort in your wrists. They should be locked. You can go to a sword grip if it's comfortable for you. You can go to a more ice pick grip if it's comfortable for you. But you have to be locked in because you're going to be using a lot more force and a lot less delicacy in weapons with these of the stuff. They're still fluid, but they're not finger delicate like the small swords and rapiers. Okay? So, how do I do it? At night, I have to go through these drills, and I do this, and this is the first that opens up. I do 20 of these. The second I do is first, and it looks ridiculous to pull both out, step, and go. But what I am doing is maximizing my extension. I'm stretching my back, so you'll see my back. I'm adding just a bit of a Fabris lean today. I'm going in a little further because I'm working it to stretch my back. If you are learning your ranges or you're using a weapon you're not used to, do not do that. Stay rigid in all your things so you can learn your basic range. You'll get a little aggressive later, but when you're trying to fight somebody, you may need that, okay? Sorry, my glasses are sliding down my nose. So, we have first. Now remember second, we talked about second pulls out. So right-handed second goes like this to the outside. Well, left-handed second goes out to the outside. So what you have is this motion. This opens the door and takes the kill. I do 20 of these. This is a very swimming-like motion. Again, it's going to open up your back, your shoulders. You're going to feel it. So I do 20 of those. Then we fall into third. Now, I'm having trouble because while I train this and I'm doing the drills, I keep my swords planed as a means of control. So I'm keeping my swords planed to maximize the stretch and maximize the compression. Whereas when I'm actually sparring, planing, which means keeping your swords flat on a plane, is something you don't want to do. But third flows through, and you should be able to just do this. Now, there is an alternate form of third drill that I do if I am really feeling kind of frisky and I want to do some speed drills, and that's just the sewing machine. It's just to build up. I'm throwing the shot, you put a target in front, you put a tracking ball, and you just alternate. And you're going to feel that on your sides. Okay? Fourth gets weird, because fourth requires you to cross your body. To drill it with two swords at the same time, you're going to go here and come in. This is totally impractical for anything other than training different muscle memory. But it's there. Okay? You do this and you go. Do it from the side again, because this one's a go. One hand will naturally be a little lower, I find, than the other. Just keep it the same. There's a reason for that, a little bit of body mechanics. Okay, so that's fourth. Now it gets a little more colorful again, because we're going into fifth. So we're going to cut up into fifth, down into sixth. Now you want to flow through, if you can, to keep your sixth crossing over so that they are off. So you've deflected the sword shot from your leg, but not too far. You want just enough. Sixth. Flow up to seventh. Seventh is a double cross high, and it is really a bad. Seventh is not somewhere you want to be too sorted. You want to be that. Here's much more comfortable. 7th tangles you up, but it does make your arms into a bit of a shield to cover your midline. So there's that. But you're going 7th, cut down into 8th, and that is the last one. So 7th, 8th, slow down, get that shot that's coming to low to the outside, and get out of the way. I prefer, since leg shots tend to be much narrower. There's not as much center line because of the way I'm shaped. On my leg shots, I prefer to parry to the outside. So 8th is much more comfortable than 6th is to me. 6th happens when I'm doing something else. So let's say shot's coming at me. I'm going to catch with 6, follow through. And it's technically, it's weird, but you're cutting into 2nd on a high line, okay? Because you can do it low, you can do it high. You have to find how your body works. So I drill those. I do that each guard 20 times. I'll walk you through them all in order again because I keep adding little tidbits, but people, you guys want to know how to do it and how to work on, from a recovery aspect. It's a good time to talk about pain. Early in any form of recovery, you should be, if it hurts, stop. And you should never do anything that I'm not a medical professional, guys. If you are doing something like this, talk to your doctor first. But after you've done it a lot, and if you're someone of age who has chronic injuries, you throw some motorcycles, off-road skateboarding, a few disasters, and, it's not the years, it's the mileage. But you get you'll get where everything feels a little sore while you're working. And you learn what is good pain versus what is bad pain. For me, a warm kind of stretch pain isn't too bad. If it ever spike sharpens, everything stops. You ever feel a tearing pain, you're done. You need to really consider seeing a doctor, in my experience. You should, if you can do it, stop before it hurts. But I'm trying to lose weight. I have to burn a lot more calories than a lot of people. And I have to do, because I can't increase my weight, I have to increase my repetitions. And I have very limited time frame to myself to do it. So I can't do a lot of the body weight exercises, but I can work with the swords. So we're going to go first, right? Theoretically, you're cutting up and going. It is not comfortable. First is going to be a lot more comfortable, about 1.5. That is a lot more comfortable than a proper first straight up. And if that's where you live, that's fine. Drill it. Now, I will say this as a step-in parry is very similar to this as a step-in parry. And there's nothing wrong with that when you're following through. But first, go. Second is that swimming motion. You want it to be smooth. Don't be afraid to put a target in front of you. I did a video a while ago about making a low-cost or no-cost fencing target. I may do a revised version of that if you or the Patreon folks want me to. But second is, again, very smooth. Third should feel like home. Now, if you are very linear in your stance, like this, which I usually tell people not to do. You want to be at that 45 so this arm can work. If you're one-handed, you go the full 90. Okay, that's what you want. But if you're dual wielding, you need to be at a 45 degree relative to your opponent. Next time I do this, I may bring some masking tape and stick it to the floor. But third is always smooth. Third is butter. Third is home. You're going to throw third in lots of different directions after you've done this for a while, because this is where most of your attacks come from. It's a natural guard position. If you give someone a sword, they are going to say, okay, now what do I do with it? So you should be comfortable. This is where a lot of your blows are going to come from if you're not pre-chambering them, which sometimes you have to get the angles you want. But third is where you're going to live. That's going to bring us back up to fourth, which is the double cross, and comes in. Oh, that's so much better. You probably heard my knee pop on that. What I'm doing now is I'm doing the same drill I usually do. I'm just incorporating a basic lunge to my dominant hand. I would recommend, if you have the ability to, regularly do that and then switch to your offhand too, because you don't want to be weak. Okay? So you do that and then you switch. Okay? Third. I slip naturally into second because second's more comfortable. Fourth is the cross, as I said. Fifth goes high. Sixth comes low. Seventh crosses high. And eighth opens it all up. So if we're going to go real fast through it, it looks like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. Now, at the end of this, I recommend, at full extension, you're going to just rotate at the shoulder. 10 one way, 10 the other. You want to get up to 20 because you want to keep these motions loose. You want to get the tension you've built up in them out. We'll talk about actual parrying and more advanced drilling in another video, but other than that, I think we're in a good place. So friends, remember the rules. Keep your eyes open, do your drills, be kind to yourself and each other, and as always, folks, support your local sword master. I will see you next time.